Hiya folks, we're back on the Transit again. We're going to get these seals all buttoned up now and then move on to the other panel, so let's get going. Right, you might remember in the last video we had we welded this in and we had a look at the front seal, which we were going to fabricate some more metal for. I need to sort of get this sealed up now because obviously the weather outside is all day there's not been one here. Look, as soon as I start filming, unbelievable. Anyway, so yeah, all I'm going to do at the moment is seal these off from the weather now. What I'm going to do also is inject the inside of these seals as well with a wax oil treatment as well, so don't worry about that. I'm going to be doing that after everything's on and set up. But first of all, I'm going to knock these welds down. I've just given them a quick wire brush down because they started to go rusty. I'm going to knock the tops off them with a grinding disc and also paint them with the MMXVIII rust preventative treatment, which is the stuff I use. If you've probably seen it on my other restoration videos when we'll be doing other stuff, this is what I use. It's basically the same as rust converter, all that sort of stuff, cure rust, whatever. So that's what I'm going to do there. That will seal that in. Then I'm going to run a finger of Tiger Seal down there, and then we're going to obviously fill it all up with a skimmer filler afterwards. But I'm going to get that all protected first, and also the back as well. So let's get going on that. Right, okay, then the MMXVIII's now gone off, so that's protected. I'll fill that in a minute. I've just put this front seal in. I've just held it in place with a few little clamps or whatever, but I needed to cut some metal to go onto the back of it, like the angle bracket. I've got a length of angle bracket, which is basically this. This is probably about, I don't know, 25mm by 25mm angle bracket. I've got it in place at the moment, but I need to just put a couple of little tacks in just to hold it in place so that I can get underneath and weld it in correctly. So I'm just going to put some surface tacks in just to hold this in place now, and then I can have a re-jiggle about, so to speak, and see what I've got to put up from weld up from the back. So watch this, I'll see you in a minute. Right then, okay, before we actually start welding, a lot of people do ask me what my welder is, what have I got, and this is basically a Clark, I think it's a TE135. It's a bit dirty at the moment, but it's a 135 TE turbo, and this used to have the little gas bottles, these ones here, I'll show you, which used to bolt onto the back there. But these literally last minutes, they're absolutely rubbish, and they're £14 each, the place I was buying them from. So in the end, I kept having to sort of buy these, and this was really working out expensive. And what I did was convert it to a hobby weld. I've actually got a video on my channel showing you the setup of this lot. But I went out and bought a hobby weld gas bottle, which is a bigger gas bottle. So if we come around the back here, you can see that's the reason why I got this trolley as well. It holds this hobby weld gas. And I can't remember, I think I paid £90 for the bottle. Once you've got the bottle, you then have it, obviously you can take it back and get it filled up again, but this lasts for ages basically. And I also got a set of gauges on here as well, which come with it. I think this was about £25 or £30, something like that. So basically what you've got is the nozzle, and you can probably just hear that. By turning this knob in either direction, you can increase the flow of the nozzle, but that's probably a bit too strong. These gauges ain't really very accurate really for reading this. You just have to go by sound. That's probably about right, because that gas comes out of here and shrouds the weld, and that's what allows you to have a decent weld basically. So you do need that. One other thing as well, these little heads here, tend to get a bit clogged up, and that can affect the flow of gas coming out as well. So always make sure that these are sort of clean. And all you do to that is I just normally unscrew that off there like that, and in there is all sort of little bits of splattery metal. You just run the pair of cutters around there or something like that, and that literally cleans it all out, as you can probably see there. Make sure that this is clean as well. You can actually buy new nozzles there. These little nozzles at the end screw on as well for the different size of MIG wire you've got. So that, just keep that clean basically, and that allows the gas to flow nicely and protect the weld, so to speak. You get decent welds. So half of the push of the trigger, you can hear the gas. As far as settings, again, I'm only a beginner, but I had a rule of thumb. When you open the side up, in here you've got your drum there with your wire feed. You've got to get the tension right on this as well. If you've got it too tight, then it can cause a problem. So that wants to be sort of free flowing, but that's me big wire that I've got there. And I've also printed out, I think this was on the website, and it gives you basically the welding. This is for steel, for example. You've got 0.6 welding wire or 0.8 welding wire. I think this is 0.6 at the end of the day. And this is your thickness of metal. Mine is 1 mil normally, what I weld with for car body work. So between 1 and 2 mil. You have welding position switch A on number 1, and B it goes on max. Switch A is number 1, and B I've got mine on minimum. Now the reason being, I found max was blowing through. So again, it's 0.8 to 1 mil. As you can see, that's the one that shouldn't have been the one below it. So anything from 0.8 mil to 1 mil sheet metal. You have switch number A on number 2. Well, I've got it on number 1. And switch number. So this is only basic. What I'm saying is this is basically a guideline, and it says your wire speed wants to be 5 to 6. Well, I'm over 6 there. I found in between 6 and 7 was more accurate to get the right weld. So again, it's trial and error. These are just basically guidelines basically, and these can be affected if you've got this wound down too tight and that's dragging the wire. So providing one thing set up, then you've got a guideline as to where you should be. So I'm no expert. I only just found this out by studying and listening to other people who are doing it. And as I say, that's the wire drum there. And see, I've got that nice and loose so that flows freely. If you do that up too tight as well, for example, that can bind and that can cause your wire not to come out at a correct speed, which can bugger other things up as well. So anyway, that's that. And it's simple control. I have that on for sheet metal, as I said to you. I have that on number 1 and that on minimum, and my wire speed I have between 6 and 7. To turn the thing on, you just throw the switch. You've got the plug lead that goes into the 13 amp socket or whatever. You've got the lead that comes out the front here, which goes down to earth of your vehicle. Don't forget to disconnect your battery. My battery's already disconnected. I'll just clamp it onto my grips there, which is also clamped onto the bare metal as well. Make sure the metal's clean. And then you've obviously got the gun there, which one press of the trigger gets the gas releasing, so straight out, and then another press of the trigger shoots the wire out. And that's basically it. And also for health and safety, your health and safety, get yourself a pair of gauntlets, get yourself a welding helmet. This one's got an auto tint screen on it, so as soon as the arc lights up, this automatically goes dim. So basically you can see through these during the day. You probably can't see that. No, yeah, I won't be able to show you that. And then as soon as the arc lines up, everything goes dark, and it protects you from the UV light. So that's what you've got to have. Fire blanket, I've done in my previous transit videos. I didn't have a fire blanket, and I actually set something alight. So I've got a fire blanket, one to cover my clothes basically. You should be wearing a leather jacket and a leather gauntlets or whatever. Someone has mentioned that before, but just be careful basically. And also, if you can, get some sort of fire prevention, like a bucket of water or something, or a little fire extinguisher or something like that. Right, well, I'm going to just pop a few little welds in here because things are moving about at the moment, and then I can sort of take things a little bit further. So I'm going to put you on time lapse for that, and I'll see you in a second. Right, okay, so I've put a few spot welds, or plug welds rather, along here now, just to hold things in place. Let's show you. As you can see, they're not too bad. I've missed one out there, but that's not a problem. I've just put a few little tacks along here as well. Again, just to hold things in place so that I can sort of manoeuvre stuff underneath. I mean, little things like that don't quite match up there, but a few taps with a hammer. There we go, like that. And that sort of follows in suit now. And yeah, so everything's sort of okay there, which ain't too much of a problem. I can dress all this, as I say, with just a few taps here and there and get things just lining up properly. But now this is solid, I can go underneath and actually put that metal in place. Let me show you what I've done at the back there. I haven't tacked anything in yet, but I'll just show you. Right, there we go. Another load of plug welds there, as you can see, and that should have the bottom part of the sill now permanently tacked in as well. As you know, I've still got stuff to do here. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. This is the main part of the ceiling now, and I'm going to just go underneath now and put that other edge in before that plane goes over. Right, okay then, I've done some more welding around the top front bit, you know, where all the seams were. I'll just show you that. I haven't been underneath yet. I'm going to do that in a minute. It's just that I got carried away and I just carried on, and I'll just show you what I've done. I mean, I'm not an expert welder, as I said to you. I've only just learnt by doing my own stuff, so don't criticise me welds, you welders out there. I know you're professionals, but I'm a DIY doing it on my drive with limited knowledge. Anyway, this is what I've done. Right, so as you remember, I had these gaps around there. These are my welds. All you're doing is basically joining up the dots, basically. So, and when you're welding on top of the previous weld. So you just put a little dab, a little quick squirt with a gun, and then while that one cools off, you just dab on the back of that weld rather than the metal. Otherwise you can blow straight through the metal. So you're just going piggybacking on the welds, and as you can see around there, that's nicely taken in now, all the way around there. I've plug welded all these along there now, as you can probably see. And again, around the front here now, this is the seam which we had the big gap there as well. I filled in a lot of that, again, just by piggybacking on the backs of the welds, rather than try, because you won't span a gap like that with a little big welding wire. So you have to sort of piggyback, and it takes a bit of time, but as you can see, the end result, when that's grounded off and filled in, that's going to look okay. But we've got all around there now, as you can see. And yeah, well, that's it. That's the welding on the outside done now, as you can see, all the way around there. I've got this bit to put in here, as you know. I'm going to put a bit of metal in there. Just needs to be sort of prized open a little bit and just dressed up a little bit there. It's not got a lot. It's just got to be sort of tweaked out a little bit, basically. And I can also take that in with a skimmer filler as well. But all my lines line up, as you can see there. All the sort of chassis lines, which you want to make sure that's the original line there. That's the line, obviously, from the panel, and it goes up there, and all the curves sort of follow suit. Exactly the same here. So that's why you're clamping it in place and actually, you know, doing that bit first. So that's all okay, and the line along there, although it don't match up there because of the gap, but the lines actually follow suit as well. So you want to make sure you get all that right, obviously, before you've welded it in. So basically this is in now, apart from the inner edge underneath now. It's going to be hard for me to film that, to be honest with you, so I'm going to do that now, and then we'll actually prepare all this for I'll seal it up from the weather. So I'll see you again in a minute. there we go. That's the inner welding done now to that bottom part of the outer sill, as you can see there. We've got a nice solid fixture there now. As I say, I've just joined up the dots there basically, and all I've got to do now is just to grind out this square patch there, and I'm going to put a patch over that as well. So I've got that to sort out, and I'm going to also put the patch on there as well, as you can see there, and that marries everything up then. Then I can just underseal it. I'm going to vac tan all that, as I said to you, like I've done the other end now. That's all gone off. Let me show you. As you see, this has all been vac tan now, and that's now been converted. So what I'll do, I'll just get some Tiger Sill. I've got some Tiger Sill. I'll smear that over there like that. Let me show you. Very tricky under here. Very tricky. So all I'll do is I'll get the old I've got the Tiger Seal here, or the seam sealer. If you can see that, can you? Yep, I think you can. And I'll just run some along the welded section there. You haven't got to do this, but it's sort of belt and braces, I suppose. I could just spray some under seals directly on it. I'll just sort of go along there like that, as you can see. Right, hold on, let's just do this little bit, I'll show you. I'll just run my finger along that, and that just takes in all the welds and ensures all them little pinholes are covered up, as you can see there. Looks a lot nicer as well. Smooths everything out. Let me show you. Hey, I'll not see. So I'll just literally go all the way along there. Get in there. Like that. Push it right in there. Probably should have gloves on here really, but you know me. There you go. Like that. And once that goes off, just for the moment, I've got this where is it? Oh, here we go. This just this underbody spray at the moment. This is just literally just to protect it while I'm sort of messing about under here. Oh, where's the lid? How's that working? How does that work? I think it comes out the top, doesn't it? Comes out the top of the tin, so I don't know how you do this. Oh, here we go. Like that, so you spray it. That's a funny thing, isn't it? And all I'll do is literally go over there, all the way along there. Should wait till this dries actually, but you get the idea. And that's the sort of end finished job which I'm looking for, like that. So I'll do that all the way along literally, and hopefully that'll protect it. And an MOT test, it can knock to his heart's content there, and I think you'll safely see that that will do the job. Anyway, I will just whack a bit of seam sealer along here. You haven't got to really, but I will do it. Only because I won't be finishing this today, because I've got other things I've got to do. So it just keeps the weather out of the weld. So that's what I'm doing this for. There we go. And then literally just run your finger over it. Just smooths everything out nicely, that's all. You'll get a better idea on what it's going to look like once the filler goes over the top of it as well. So as you can see, that's seam sealed in now. Welding's done. I don't need to put seam sealer on this, to be honest with you, and I'm happy with that. I think it's not a bad job. Right, there you go. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and we've made good progress today, and just got to fill this lot in, and hopefully next time you see this I would have had this all done anyway. So and then we'll be on to the rest of the bodywork, which I said we were going to do in the last video, but I've been very busy and obviously things happen in certain orders, and you just got to go with the flow. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, bye for now.